began as always in the name of Jesus. This video is going to be doing a review of Gotham Season 1, Episode 2, Selina Kyle. So, we open up with Bruce trying to lighting a candle and putting it near the fire, just burning himself somewhat. Then we switch over to Selina Kyle. She's watching two people putting this pointy thing into these two guys and then taking them off. And meanwhile, we also have the Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, walking back home. Two people pick him up. He hitches a ride. They call him a Penguin, and then he kills him afterwards for calling him that. That was a pretty cool opening there. So we go to the opening credit, to the opening title, then we go back, and then we head to and it seems like this week we were talking about there are people who are just kidnapping little children and selling them off for kidnapping little children, and it seems like and they go in. Harvey and Jim go off to the Oswald Cobblepot's mom's house, and it's just not a very good opening. Good conversation. So, and then they move on to. All I just have to say is I'm a little saddened that because this thing was named Selina Kyle, I wish we had seen more of her. But what we did see of her was good. She seemed like she was pretty stealthy. She was one of the children kidnapped. By the way, Jim and Harvey rescue some of the children locked up in a home where they were confronting some of the people working for those kidnaps were confronted. They rescue them, and then the mayor just decides some need to go to juvenile, some need to go to foster homes. So this just shows us something that's not very great. They go to a place of there just basically just shows the mayor's just as corrupt as everybody else in Gotham. So then Selina Kyle is just on one of the buses comforting one of the other children, and she's just sees two people she recognized who kidnapped some other people, the two other people at the beginning of the episode, and then she gets a little scared. So when they head to their destination, Selina Kyle hides and then sneaks out. Then eventually at the end, Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock take out her kidnappers, and they're defeated. So at the end, Jim just decides Jim Gordon decides it's time to. Selina Kyle asks Jim Gordon if she wants to see Bruce Wayne, and while they're on that, speaking of Bruce, Jim Gordon decides to help him out and show him, and just make sure he doesn't do anything dangerous, things like that. So it was a good episode. It was much better than the pilot. I think that may have to do that. Now that we've gotten the death of Bruce's parents out of the way, now we can go on to other things. And I have to say that this show is slowly finding its footing. It needs to improve, but it's getting better. So, and I just can't wait to see Bruce and Selina interact. So I'm going to give this thing an 8.5 out of 10. Again, this show is in its growing pains, so I should expect it. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be getting better by the end of the season. So I'll give it a while before I decide whether or not I'll come back and I'll continue to watch it or not. So all in all, again, I give this thing a 5.5, an improvement from last week, but even though it still has a ways to go. All right, good.